So my story starts off a little different than most people in that my second daughter was diagnosed with breast cancer. That was a very scary time, and I left New Hampshire to help her through this journey of hers. Little did I know at that time that God was preparing me for my own cancer. 3 years later, I had been getting my regular mammograms and everything was normal. After I went in for my doctor's checkup, my mammograms and ultrasounds were fine. And 2 days later, I got a phone call from my physician assistant. And she said, "I'd like you to get an MRI of your breasts. I had a dream about you. I know it sounds crazy, but I'd just like you to do this for me." I said, sure, I had nothing to lose. So I had my MRI, and much to my surprise, they found breast cancer. My name is Meg Cyr. It didn't show up in any mammograms, and it didn't show up in any self-checks that I did myself. It was quite a surprise, needless to say, and it was a very aggressive form of breast cancer. And treatment seemed easy because it was caught so early. I was 0-stage breast cancer at the time, and I was going to live forever. All I needed was a lumpectomy and 7.5 weeks of radiation. I never knew how radiation worked, and it was interesting that when you go in every single day for radiation, your radiation actually makes your cancer grow. And so that's why you have to have it in the next day, because it kills it during the division of all the cells. So eventually, as you can see, after every single day, you end up with no breast cancer at the very end of 7.5 weeks. And so that's what happened. I never knew that radiation could cause another cancer. So 9 years out as a survivor, doing great, doing all the wonderful things that I love to do. And I got a bruise the size of a dime on my breast. I figured I'm a nurse, so maybe I did bump myself, but I knew I hadn't, so I waited 2 weeks because a normal bruise would go away. Well, guess what? It never did. So I started going to doctors and I said, "What is this bruise?" Nobody could tell me what I had. Nothing changed. Everything was normal. There were no lumps. There were no bumps. All my mammograms and MRIs were normal. So I asked for a biopsy. 5 days later, I was given my results. I had 12% chance to survive this new cancer that was all caused from my radiation. It's now called radiation-induced angiosarcoma of the breast. It's rare, but it happens. No one ever gave me a pamphlet after radiation to tell me that this was a possibility. I never would have waited 7 months. It spreads directly to the lung and the liver, and by that time, I had already had a lesion in my lung. From there, I started chemo right away. They told me I had to pack up my bags and come back to Nashville. I asked them if they understood the seriousness of this cancer, and they told me yes, so they knew what they were doing. I was encouraged to go other places, but I wanted to start right away. So I did. I lost my hair, my eyebrows, my eyelashes. I became basically a shell. I started my treatments, lost my hair, my eyebrows, my eyelashes, and my hair started falling out after 2 weeks of chemo in big clumps. So my daughter said, "Mom, why don't we just shave your head?" And I said, as long as we can do it and celebrate the moment. So with a glass of champagne in my hands, I sat in a big chair in her bathroom and a big cape on, and she shaved my hair. But I said, before you shave it all off, I must have a mohawk, because I'll never have one ever again, but I want to have a mohawk for my grandson. So we shaved it into a mohawk, and my grandkids were on the telephone. It was a special day. I celebrated because, we never know what's going to happen, and anything in life is a struggle sometimes, but you cannot let it ever steal your joy in the day. And I was not going to let that steal my joy. So after 20 chemos, the bruise magically disappeared. And my doctor told me I was cured. And she told me at first I was supposed to have 40 chemos. But when it went away in 20 chemos, Why have to have 40? So we stopped. But she did recommend a bilateral mastectomy for prophylactic purposes. So I underwent a bilateral mastectomy, and then I got a phone call about the pathology. I figured I was cured. I shouldn't have any reason to have any pathology left. And she called me and said that I did not have clear margins after the surgery. The cancer was still present, and they didn't know what they could do for me. I was really shocked. But I said, I'm going to be in that 12% category that survived this cancer. How dare you steal my joy? Nothing about giving you a number to live for. It steals your hope. It steals everything you can possibly imagine. And I was not giving up. I said, how can that possibly be? I was told I was cured, and now I'm loaded with cancer. They obviously didn't understand my cancer. So they had already made me an appointment in Houston, Texas. Now I've never been traveling on my own, but single as I was, I had to make the trek to Houston all by myself because no one was allowed to accompany you in Texas because of COVID. There I met the guru of my cancer. And he said, where have you been? You should have been here 7 months, more than 7 months ago. You have a lesion in your lung that's still there and growing. You are loaded with cancer, but I'm going to take care of that. Now, mind you, I was still bald, but there's a little fuzz growing back in. So I underwent another 55 more chemos. I lost my hair. I lost everything. But let me tell you, I was fighting. My daughter would drive me in, and she was frustrated sometimes because I wouldn't get out of the car right away. She said, what are you doing, Mom? I said, listen, I'm putting on my lipstick. I have no breasts. I have no eyelashes. I have no eyebrows. I have no hair. At least I can still feel like a woman. But she said, Mom, you're wearing a mask all day. I said, that's okay. I gotta feel like a woman. So I walked in, and my daughter had a unique way of dealing with my chemotherapy. He said that an hour before my chemo, I was to put my hands and feet into ice baths for an hour during chemo, which ended up being 2.5 hours, and an hour after. It was the most torturous thing I've ever had to do. There was pain in frostbite. This will prevent neuropathy in the future. So every day that I showed up for chemo, I had tears in my eyes because I understood the torture I was about to face. The chemo itself, I managed. I remember when I was living with with my daughter, she had a son that was 5, and I was living in the upstairs bedroom. And they kept the door shut so I could have privacy, but on chemo days, they left it open, knowing that I may need to run to the bathroom. So I woke up, and immediately I had to go to the bathroom. And I got out of bed, and I collapsed on the floor. I passed out, and they heard a big thud. So my grandson was sent up to see what Glamma's doing. He comes back down and starts his puzzle all over again, and my daughter asked, is Glamma okay? And he said, sure, she's fine. She just decided to sleep on the floor today while my daughter was up the stairs. By that time, I had woken up, and everything was fine. So there were lots of challenges during that chemotherapy, as well as the torture of my hands and feet. However, I survived it. I made it through. But unbeknownst to me, my doctor said, now, because this cancer that you have is a web, it doesn't show up in any PET scans or any scans. It only spreads directly to the liver and the lung. So we do CAT scans to see where it's at, if it's gone there. And since that lesion was in my lung, when the next CAT scan, they found that the lesion had miraculously gone away. I was blessed again, thank you to my good Father above. Now we need to remove any potential radiated skin that you have on your body because this cancer is caused by the radiation. So I was scheduled for a 16-hour operation where they removed all the skin from my chest all the way down. It was a long operation. They found other skin to put me back together. and I survived that surgery. My daughter rented a house in Houston so we can undergo the recovery, which was lengthy, but I made it. And honestly, I can say today that I am in remission. And come December 4th, it will be 5 years. I made it out of that. I feel totally blessed, and I'm going to celebrate December 4th with 5 years of remission. I really attribute my survivorship to positivity. That's the one thing that my doctor told me when I met him. And he said, the way to survive this cancer is to always be positive and to believe in a higher power. Because of walking through my daughter's journey, she taught me how to handle cancer. I remember her saying to me, Mom, there's no one else in this family that could handle cancer like me. So that's why I have it. She developed a theory, a system of I am the lady dressed to kill breast cancer cells. So she went in for all of her treatments in ballroom gowns and prom dresses and lit up the ward when she walked in. Eventually, everybody wanted to have their chemo scheduled on the day that she showed up. The lady dressed to kill was coming in. She never cried. She never cried. I did all the crying for her. I went out and did exercise while she was sleeping, and I cried. I just couldn't imagine losing my daughter to this terrible disease. However, she gave me strength. She was brave. She was courageous. How could I not be? I mean, if you have to cry, okay, do it, but then be done with it, because it takes time away from you and your beautiful day that God's given you. None of us are promised tomorrow, and God gives us a new day to celebrate. And I refuse to let bad things bother me. I think that it's important to be positive in any way, shape, or form. Sure, bad things happen. But you know what? You'll get through it with the strength of God. Don't ever give up. Life is worth the fight. I really believe that beauty is within. A lot of people say, oh, it's within, but you have to believe that it's within. I accept my body the way it is, because I am proud to stand here today to be a survivor of a very aggressive cancer from treatment from breast cancer. I love people, I love life, and I choose to find the beauty in every day. So a lot of people think breast cancer is just breast cancer, but it's not. There are various different kinds of breast cancer. There's breast positive, estrogen positive, progesterone positive, HER2 positive, triple negative breast cancer, which is a very aggressive cancer, and it starts, in younger women. You definitely need to have a second opinion. You get one opinion, then you need to go to another doctor. It's your life. And that if a good doctor is a good doctor, he will tell, absolutely, go get a second opinion. But I want to live, and you do too, and you're going to make it. You need to surround yourself with people that support you, that help you see the beauty in every day. I think the best thing that you can do when you're diagnosed is reach out and help somebody else, because it takes the focus off of you. We know recurrence rates are high. And so anything you have after 2 weeks, any symptom that you have after reaching remission should be checked out by a doctor. My father was a doctor. He told me, he believed that everyone is born with potential cancer cells in their body. It's how we choose to live to support our body throughout the years. Let's do as much as possible as we can to to live a good life, to be as healthy as possible. God wants you here for a reason, to share your story, to become a new you, and to be the hope for others. Winning the battle was truly, really magical for me. I get to enjoy my grandkids, and I can participate or see them in their endeavors. Next month, go back to Houston for more testing. I am hopeful that I will get good news. And if not, then we'll tackle it when the time comes. God's going to let me know which road to go on with that. So I feel blessed every single day I get out of bed. And a smile is the most beautiful thing you can ever wear.